How long is the trip from Austin to here by plane?
I think it's about eight or 9 hours.
Okay, so you're fresh like in the first morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So first question is about demography, and I spoke with you in the past about that, and I think it's very important for you, and you pointed on that a lot of your discussion and your purpose, is it?
Yeah, I think I really want to emphasize that it's important to have children and to create the new generation. And as simple as it sounds, if people do not have children, there is no new generation. So I very much strongly recommend that, I'm very much in favor of humanity expanding and creating a bright and exciting future for the world. And but fundamental to the furtherance of human civilization is having humans. As simple and basic as that sounds, and every year I look at the birth rates and I'm like, it's kind of a bit depressing because birth rates seem to decline every year, and I think that perhaps my biggest advice to leaders, to government leaders, and to the people in general would be to make sure to have children to create the new generation. And I think any incentives that can be done to incent the new generation, to make it easier for women to have children, and to support the children, I think would be very wise. This is so fundamental, and I really can't emphasize that enough. If you don't have a new generation, there is no new generation. Or with current birth rates, I think it may be the generations are birth rate is maybe half of the replacement rate. And what that means is, in 3 generations, the population will be roughly 1/10 of its current size. In 3 generations, maybe 4 generations, the population will be 1/10 of its current size. So I always want to emphasize this point because it is so basic and fundamental that if there's not at least a birth rate which is keeping population constant, then a people will disappear. And
Disappear, Mr. Musk, disappear.
Disappear.
We have a lot of immigration. Somebody says that immigration is important for that reason. What's your point on that? Immigration is coming in Europe and is coming in America from the south of America, and then Europe from the south of the Mediterranean Sea. What do you think about that?
Well, I think one can't depend on other countries for immigration. And in fact, if you look at, say, the population worldwide, and this is almost everywhere in the world, and it seems to be a function of how once a country industrializes, once a country urbanizes, the population immediately starts to decline. So one could say, for example, like China could not possibly solve its population with immigration, because if China is currently tracking to be maybe lose 40% of its population every generation. That would be 700 million, 800 million people, or roughly 700 million people. It's a lot, basically. You'd have to have the entire United States immigrate there twice every generation to simply maintain numbers, just for China. So immigration, there simply aren't enough numbers in immigration. And I think there is value to a culture, and we don't want cultures. We don't want Japan to disappear. We don't want Italy as a culture to disappear. We don't want France as a culture to disappear. I think we have to maintain the sort of reasonable cultural identity of the various countries, or they simply will not be those countries. Italy is the people of Italy. The buildings are there, but really, what is Italy? Italy is the people.